part of all this was the personal reason stuff was a smokescreen. It was a cover up. The timeline behind all this was Dewanna Bonner actually requested a trade. So trade requests are common. Well, if she requested a trade from me, that takes her out of the quitting portion. I think what happened is her salary was so exorbitant that they could not find the right combo of value in the teams that could match the players to make those numbers match. And it only being 14 games into the season, there's not a lot of sample size of effectiveness, and I think it made the player evaluations kind of difficult.
The fact that Brittney Griner now plays in Atlanta adds an unsettling layer to this developing story. Known for her heated on-court exchanges with Caitlin Clark, the 6'9" center has become one of the league's most polarizing figures. Throughout their matchups, Griner has often played Clark with an edge that many analysts had described as excessively physical, involving unnecessary contact, hard screens, and what some have called targeted behavior toward the WNBA's most high-profile player. Game reviews have confirmed that Griner's foul rate in contests involving Clark is significantly higher than her season average, raising questions about whether this is poor officiating or intentional aggression. Now, with Dewanna Bonner potentially joining Griner in Atlanta, the WNBA faces a troubling scenario. Two veteran players with documented tension toward Clark could end up on the same roster. For a league still struggling to manage its relationship with its brightest star, this situation poses serious risks, both for competitive integrity and for the public image of women's basketball.
Champion has no interest in returning to play for the Fever. The same sources indicated Bonner's preferred landing spots are with the Phoenix Mercury, her boo thing, or the Atlanta Dream. Bonner's agent, Mike Kund, had no comment regarding his client's standing with the Fever. No comment is a comment. No explanation is an explanation. If we were trying to get back, we would have said, oh, we're trying to get back. We're trying to work some things out behind the scenes so both parties are satisfied moving forward. We don't even get that. That speaks volumes.
Bonner's exit couldn't have come at a more revealing time. After weeks of inconsistency, the Indiana Fever finally began to find their rhythm, particularly following Caitlin Clark's return from injury. The turning point came on June 24th, when Indiana defeated the Seattle Storm 94-86, a statement win that showed exactly what the Fever could be once freed from the locker room tension that had lingered for months. Clark, though limited to just 6 points, displayed her trademark leadership and court vision, racking up 9 assists and 3 steals while dictating the game's tempo. More importantly, her teammates thrived in the new, drama-free environment. Lexi Hull dropped 15 points, Kelsey Mitchell added 26, and Aaliyah Boston exploded for a career-high 31 points, dominating both ends of the floor. The victory wasn't just another regular season win, it was a symbolic reset. Without Bonner's presence, the Fever looked unified, energetic, and fully committed to Clark's fast-paced, selfless style of play. For the first time all season, Indiana resembled a team not just playing together, but believing in one another.
Athlete competing at the highest level, I'm a perfectionist and you want to be really good every single night. And, when you're not, that can frustrate you. But I think it's just reminding yourself of why you play this game and, how much fun you've had doing it over the course of, however many years it's been since you were a little kid. So I don't think that's changed at all. That's the reason I still play. And, this is what I've always dreamed of. So, for me, it's just fun and it's just a game at the end of the day.
And you hope Caitlin Clark can keep that energy the rest of the season. I think everybody wants to see that from her. But obviously stuff like this gets to a team as well. Now the question is, where do the Fever go?
There's no denying the contrast. The Fever looked transformed without Bonner's disruptive influence. Suddenly, they were sharper, more cohesive, and fully engaged. The tension that had quietly hung over the locker room seemed to evaporate overnight, replaced by a renewed sense of purpose and belief among the young core. Freed from the shadow of veteran friction, the team finally began to resemble the hungry, unified contender that Indiana fans had been promised. What makes the situation all the more disappointing is Bonner's pedigree. A 6-time All-Star, 2-time WNBA champion, and 3rd all-time leading scorer, she entered the season with every opportunity to play a pivotal mentorship role. Instead of embracing that position, she appeared unwilling to adapt, a refusal that spoke volumes. Her statement following the waiver was polished but hollow. Bonner said, "I felt the fit did not work out despite our shared goals and excitement heading into the season," framing the split as mutual. Yet beneath the professionalism of her words, the underlying truth was clear: this was not a mutual decision. It was the consequence of ego colliding with evolution, and a stark reminder that in the new WNBA, no reputation is above accountability.
Obviously, there were reports today that DB isn't or doesn't intend to return to the team. Just what conversations have you had with her and with the front office about that?
I've had a lot of conversations recently, focused on that we have right here, and what we need to do to position ourselves.
So I'm here with, who's going to be here with me, who's going to be in the trenches with me, because Dewanna Bonner kind of quit. I don't know if there's a better word for it.
The truth is far simpler than Bonner's carefully worded statement suggested. She couldn't accept that Caitlin Clark was the centerpiece, the voice of the team, the new face of the franchise, and the foundation upon which everything was being built. Bonner had grown accustomed to being the focal point, the veteran star who drew the spotlight. But in Indianapolis, that dynamic shifted overnight. Clark wasn't just another rookie, she was a phenomenon. Bonner struggled with that adjustment. Instead of embracing her role as a mentor and steadying influence, she resisted it. Her discomfort became tension, and that tension spread. Meanwhile, Clark's meteoric rise has been nothing short of historic. From record-breaking college performances to becoming the most talked-about player in the league, she's transformed the Fever from an afterthought into a legitimate playoff threat. The numbers speak for themselves, averaging 19.9 points and 8.7 assists per game. Clark has redefined what a rookie season can look like, but the numbers only tell part of the story. Clark's impact has been cultural. Over 515,000 All-Star votes, the most in the league, show just how deeply she's connected with fans. Her presence drives ticket sales, merchandise, and national viewership to levels the WNBA has never seen. Bonner's frustration, in truth, was a byproduct of that shift, of witnessing a new era being born, one not built around the old guard but around a player who has already changed the trajectory of the league.
Organization's willingness to grant my request to move on, particularly at this point in my career. I wish the Fever great success as they continue to build around this dynamic group of young players. Man, whatever, bro. We should have held her hostage. You ain't going nowhere. How about that? You gonna sit out your 16th season in. How about that? What, man? Get her up out of here. Can Bree Turner be next? I want all them Connecticut's. Get them up out of here. Pack them up. Get them up out of here. Natasha Howard can.
Bonner couldn't bring herself to support Clark. Instead of recognizing the once-in-a-generation talent sitting beside her, she saw Clark as a threat to her reputation, her minutes, and her standing in the locker room. Her refusal to embrace a mentoring role spoke volumes about her priorities and mindset. Since her departure, the Fever have looked like a completely different team. Players are no longer walking on eggshells around a frustrated veteran whose discontent was obvious to everyone in the building. The chemistry has improved dramatically, and coach Stephanie White can now focus on building around Clark's unique skill set instead of managing Bonner's mood. Yet, this story has taken an unsettling turn. Reports suggest Bonner may be headed to Atlanta, where Brittany Griner, already one of the league's most controversial figures due to her repeated physical clashes with Clark, currently plays. Griner's history of overly aggressive play against Clark has raised concerns across the league, with multiple game reviews noting unnecessary contact, hard screens, and targeted behavior. Her foul rate in games involving Clark is significantly higher than her season average, fueling speculation about whether this is coincidence or intent. If Bonner joins Griner in Atlanta, the WNBA faces a delicate situation: two veterans with well-documented tensions toward Clark potentially sharing a roster. For a league striving to protect its brightest young star while promoting fair competition, that's a development that could quickly become volatile.